On April 21st, 2023, I made $110,000 under 24 hours with my simple trading strategy. I literally told everybody on my social media, Discord, Instagram story. I even texted my ex and I told her no, totally kidding. And in the following minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. It's very simple. But before we get started, I have a video where it teaches you from scratch how to make your first $100,000, $1,000, so then you can eventually scale to $110,000 like I did. All you have to do is just click this video up here. It's a very simple way to teach you from scratch. But before we start, I want to show you guys that this is a real account. You guys can see all of the trades that I took here, deposit, withdrawals, the exact $100,000 trades, other trades that I have lost, other trades that I have won, just to show you guys how legit this strategy is and to show you guys if I did it, so can you guys. So I want you guys to understand how I manifested this, as crazy as that might sound. I woke up on a Sunday and when I look at the market, something just looks so picture perfect that I have seen it in the past, but I just wanted to trade a little bit more aggressive this week. And I literally posted it in my Discord, my free Telegram. I made a whole Instagram post about it. I'm like, guys, you guys are going to see at the end of the week, I'm going to make $100,000. Little did I know that what was waiting ahead of me was a $140,000 week. So I overachieved that, making this my new goal. To begin with, I want to explain a simple philosophy when it comes to my trading. The simplest way I can put it is trading is just like surfing. So let's say you're a surfer, your goal is to go out to the beach, get on a wave and just ride the wave all the way to the shore. Your goal as a trader is to come to the computer, get on the markets and ride the wave whether the market's going up or ride the wave whether the market is going down. It is the same thing. So the first thing you do when you're a surfer, when you get to the beach, you have to look outside, see if there's waves. If there's waves, you go into the water and then you surf them. So as a trader, the first thing you do when you come to the market is you sit down on the computer, you look at the market or the trend, and you identify if it's going up or if it's going down. If you properly can't identify whether it's going up or going down, you're already making the first mistake as a trader. So the first step is to identify the trend when you come into the markets. So essentially, the market's going down, I'm looking for sells. If the market's going up, I'm looking for buys. And in this case, the market was all bearish. Every single time frame was headed to the downside. So I was just looking for a very simple and specific point to hop in on that wave to just keep going to the downside. And this was actually a very clear and simple trade. And I'm gonna tell you guys exactly why. I'm gonna tell you guys through the very moment where I realized it's going to be a high probability trade setup that was going to give me the $100,000 in one trading day, right? So before we get into the charts, this is going to be very similar like surfing. Yes, like literally riding a wave, actual surfing. So when you are going to the beach, and let's suppose you are a surfer, your goal is to catch a wave and then you're supposed to make it all the way to the shore. So this is you here, stick figure, my best version of stick figure drawing with your surfboard, and your goal is to make it all the way to the beach. So let's say this is the beach, this is my version of a palm tree, and then your beach chair, so on, right? You understand your goal is to get at the top of the wave so you make it all the way to the shore. We kind of have the same thing when it comes to trading, but our goal is to ride our trade to our take profit. Our goal is to take our trade to make it to where we want to get out. So before you get to the beach, your first thing is to see, are the waves coming north or are they going south? Basically, in simple terms, are the waves going this way or are the waves going this way? What waves are the waves going? Because that way you can obviously know where to ride it. It is the same thing when we come to the markets. The first thing you got to do is identify, is the market going up or is the market going down? So very similar how a wave moves like this to the upside, a wave can move like this to the downside, whether it's going north, whether it's going south. So when we first get to this market, we can identify that these waves were going to the upside at one point, and then after it kept going to the upside, then the wave started going to then the downside, right? If you were to just look at this market simple in a wave perspective, you can see here how this market was heading to the north side, and then after it basically broke out, and you can see how then the markets are now heading to the south side. So this is the simplest way how I can get you to visualize the waves going up or the waves going down. So my first rule, my first confluence when I come into trading is I need to understand, what are the waves doing? Are the waves going up or are the waves going down? In market terms, is the trend bullish or is the trend bearish? So I first identify this on the weekly, daily, 4-hour time frames to understand, is the market going up or is the market going down? After we identify whether the market is going up or going down, I then ask myself, are we rejecting an area of interest for me to get in? And this zone right here is my area of interest. Very similar, like if you were to be riding a wave, is am I entering the wave at the beginning of it? Am I entering at the middle of it? Where am I entering the wave? Am I like this guy right now where he's at the bottom of the wave? Or am I like this guy right here where he is at the top of the wave? And this is also known in trading perspective as area of interest. So after I identify that we are clearly waving to the downside, then I realize, all right, this point right here is the top of the wave at the zone where I want to get in. After we identify this, then leads to my third point, which obviously we have a total of 9, which we're gonna go through every single one of them, which gives me the exact reasoning on why I took this trade. The third one would be, what is my entry signal in wave perspective? What is indicating to me that I am ready to get on this wave? So to give you an example of what an entry signal is when it comes to trading, it is candlestick rejections. We have these rejection candlesticks all throughout the charts. It might look like a lot to understand at one point, but you can tell this is a very strong moving candlestick versus these candlesticks are just stopped. This is because these candlesticks are rejecting and this is just moving towards like a wave. So to put it in a simple perspective, like a wave is, before you get on any wave, you can see all these bubbles and all these white stuff happening at the top of the wave. That is giving you the indication that the wave is about to crash and head to the downside. That is your entry signal to get on the wave. And this is very similar on any single type of wave you are getting on. So before I get to the market, I need an entry signal. So as you can tell right here, we have, this is called a doji candlestick. So a doji candlestick is part of my rules to take a trade because it is required for an entry signal. After my entry signal, I then need a bearish confirmation that we are rejecting this zone. So after seeing the first bubbles come onto the chart where I essentially am getting the notification that the wave is coming down, this is my first bubble indication that this move is heading to the downside. So after this first bubble, I need there to be what is called a rejection bearish engulfing, which is this candlestick right here. So both of these right here, this is called a doji, and then this is called a bearish candlestick formation. If you've never seen these type of candlesticks before, there's a free book down below where it is called the Japanese Candlestick Bible. It's a trading book that I read. It's like 20-30 pages long, and every single picture has a brief description of what every single candlestick is, and it is very simple to read the markets after you read this book. It is as simple as reading a pre-K book, because it's just a picture and a brief description. So this is going to help you understand that this is my entry signal to enter the wave. After we understand what the entry signal is, this is where then I will, where am I getting out of this wave? Because before you get onto the wave, you need to understand, where am I getting off? Am I gonna get on the wave at this point and is my goal to ride it all the way to shore? Is my goal to get on this wave and make it all the way to the rocks? Where are you trying to ride the wave to? So this is where you need to understand that you need to set an area where the wave ends, where the wave is just going to crash and then you are done. So this is very similar in this trade. And the way I identify where I'm going to get out of the wave is by looking for the next zone where it is considered support and resistance. Another spot where a wave has rejected in the past, which is also known as structure points, like these levels right here. If you notice, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections. So this is basically an area where the wave, it can potentially make it and then crash before coming back up and then creating another wave heading to the downside. So this is the spot where I realized, well, I understand that this is an area where the wave can make it. And this is very key because a lot of surfers, a mistake they can make is that they can want to ride the wave past the short. You can't ride the wave past the short. And in trading, this is a huge mistake. Traders want to hold the trade past their take profit. If this right here is your entry point, and this would be your stop loss, this would have to be your take profit, and that is it. This is where a lot of traders get greedy and they make the mistake thinking they can ride the wave forever. You can't ride the wave forever. So after we understand where we're going to get out, this is where I would understand, what am I risking on this trade? What am I risking on this wave? So whenever I take a trade, I risk anywhere from 1 to 3% of my account. So then this is where I would go to a position size calculator and be like, what am I going to risk on this trade? So let's say, for instance, your account balance is $100,000. whether it's a challenge or whether it is a personal account that you are trading, and you want to risk a 1% of your account. And then let's say you just want to have a, let's say for this example, we had a 24 pip stop loss. If you don't know what pips is, it is point in percentage. There's no reason for you to calculate it. These things do it for you. So we would put a 24 pip stop loss on NZD USD, which was the pair that we were trading. After you understand that this is the pair, you click calculate, and this literally tells you how many lots so you should put on your trade, meaning you're only risking $1,000 on this trade. To put it into the wave example, before you get onto the wave, you need to ask yourself, is this wave worth getting wet or falling off the wave and hurting myself? Like, you just need to understand the risk you're taking before you are taking this trade. So after I did all of these stuff, understand that the waves or the trend is going to the downside, understanding that we're rejecting my area of interest, understanding where I'm getting out, why am I getting in, and what I'm risking, this is where I'm like, you know what? Okay, it is time. At this point, it's time to get in the trade, in the wave. I hope you guys like this wave analogy. It's like super simple and very relatable. So this is where I said, okay, let's take the trade. This is where I'll go to my MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, whatever is best for you guys. You place the trade and then you set and forget. What is set and forget? You have to let the trade go all the way to your take profit, and that is it. Your goal is to get off at shore. You don't want to get off the wave before you get to the shore. Doesn't look cool. It wasn't worth the risk that you took initially. So after this point that I get on the wave, this is where I literally this is where I show all my friends that I'm on the wave. Like, this would literally be me right here. Like, hey, I'm on the wave. I just got on. Everything is lining up perfectly. In trading examples, where I would post a trade on Instagram, my Telegram, my Discord, and be like, hey guys, this is the trade. This is the trade that's going to give me the $100,000. So while we're in that trade, in the middle of the wave, I was debating whether I should get on or get off or keep riding it, because we were somewhere in the middle like this, and I was probably already up around $50,000. And I'm like, you know what? Like, this is enough, right? Obviously, it's not my $100,000 goal, but I'm halfway there. And realistically, this is almost as big as my last biggest trading day. Only 1 in the morning, and I'm debating, should I close right now? On the trade, we still have a little bit more. I can close right now and call it 100K week, where greed kicks in. But this is where I stuck to my philosophy of set and forget. And what set and forget means is you just set your trade and you forget how long for it to get there, because that way you will hold yourself accountable for sticking to your trading rules, which is getting off at shore. Your goal as a surfer is to make it all the way back to the shore, like this guy right here. So you rode the wave all the way back to shore. Your goal is to not get off in the middle of the wave. That is not a successful surfing day and not a successful trade. Power of set and fucking shit. Let me make sure this did not break, because I gotta close this damn trade. We are good. So after the trade plays out, if you guys realize, this is where I pretty much just went to sleep, put my phone down, and when I woke up the next day, my trade had hit my take profit. And this is where I go on Instagram, show everybody, post it, make a huge post about it. For me, it was a very big deal, because I would never make this at my old job, working probably 5 years back to back, saving every single dollar. So the fact that I made it in just one shot, probably a little under 24 hours, is a very, very big deal to me. And you guys can see here in the date below, this is April 21st, 2023 on a Friday. So the market closes on Friday. This trade hit my take profit right on Friday, which was perfect, because that is the right time for me to withdraw the money right after work. And this is how I made the $110,000 in just one simple trading day. I know it might be too simple with the analogy that I was putting with the waves, but that is really how simple it is. Trading should not be complicated at all. I go through my series of confluences, my series of reasons on why I'm taking the trade. And this is what my set and forget strategy is. Literally anyone can do it. If you're gonna believe in what I'm saying, you can just really come to your own conclusions. But what is the link in the description? You will find out something that can work for you, because if it did it for me, it can also do it for you. If you guys found this video useful, make sure to drop a comment. If you guys like the simple wave analogy and how unique I made it, make sure to drop it in the comments. hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, guys.